Hello all, Yuli here with another Wednesday White Raven Wisdom Share. And I gotta say, I had a little bit of a splat, but that's okay. I got really caught up once again in the doingness, so focused on becoming that I had created such a form of what I was becoming that then it began to bring me a little stress because I then had expectations of myself to become this and this identity. And inasmuch I had done some deep reflecting while experiencing some radical shifts. And these radical shifts at this time have stripped away layers of myself, and my frequency has shifted. And when your frequency shifts, sometimes what happens is things that you really like, you no longer like anymore. Things that you were passionate about, you're no longer passionate about them. Food that you liked, you no longer like. And even the idea of who I was becoming had also gotten stripped away from me. And so that left me feeling really lost. But how does one lose themselves? How do you feel lost? Well, when you're in this state, this in-between of unbecoming to become, just because you had an idea of who or what you were becoming doesn't mean that that was your true essence, your true nature, because essentially what we're doing is we're unbecoming to become our true nature. It's just that I had dictated that along the way I was going to have this pit stop, that I was going to become this persona or this version of myself. I had a preconceived idea as to what for Yuli to become. I had an idea of what that looked like. And I based everything off of that. And that's perfectly fine in the beginning because it helped to change and shift my mindset and get my mind on board of making different choices. Because if you don't make different choices in your life, then you're not going to bring about any change. Keep making the same decisions and the same choices and not putting yourself in different opportunities. You're not allowing anything new to come in. And you're not putting yourself in any position to meet new people or have new experiences that could then propel you and be the stepping stones and are the building stones for the universe to bring you into who and what you're becoming. But here's the thing. So in that unbecoming and all of the things falling away, like everything is falling away. And to the point that I'm like almost having an identity crisis. Like, who am I anymore? I no longer like these things. I don't like any of my clothes. I see that I'm buying different foods, so I'm not eating the same way anymore. My relationships don't feel quite the same anymore either. I want everything to change. I want everything to be different. But what do I want it to be? What do I want it to look like? That I'm still like, I don't know. I don't know what that looks like. But I'm in this big purging stage of everything must go. I need to make room. I need to make space for this new stuff to come in. How is it going to come in? I don't have a clue. I have no idea how it's going to come in. But here is the secret juice. I did it all myself. And I didn't realize that it's so very subtle that, what we do is we align, so the frequency shift. we attract, once our frequency shifts, then we're attracting in exactly what we want. So like the different reality that we want, the feels of that, that's what we're calling into us. And what I was calling into me was super exciting, and I could envision it and I could feel it. But even that in itself is kind of also losing its luster for me, and it's kind of falling away. And so, but you align, you attract, and now is to allow. And so now that you are stripping away all the things, you need to allow all those things to strip away and to fall away. And this gets to be kind of scary. This gets to be like, oh my gosh, I don't know what's going on. I don't know who I am anymore. I don't know what I like anymore. I just really I'm lost. I'm so lost. I can't see the way forward. I can't even see my hand in front of my face. And the only thing we can do in that moment is to trust and to have faith. And this is sometimes called being in the void. And it is the in-between, that in-between stage of unbecoming to become, where we're now in the holding pattern. We have aligned our energy. We've now attracted what we want. And so envision it. We've attracted it, and we have like a tractor beam attached to it. And now we're bringing it in. We're attracting it in. But sometimes that might take some time to get from out there to in here and into our heart. And so there's a waiting period. And it's also a time for Spirit to ask, is this really what you wanted? Are you still aligned with this? Are you still attracting this? Or do you want your old ways again? Because it's very easy for us while we're waiting and not recognizing and not aware that this is the stage of what we're in, that we're in this waiting period of, okay, I've put this in the microwave and it's cooking, and I just absolutely know that when that buzzer dings, my food is going to be ready, and here it is, and it's going to be super delicious, it's going to be amazing. Well, that's kind of the awareness that we need to have. But sometimes we get stuck in that old pattern of, well, holy crap, you know, I now have nothing. I don't know who I am. I'm having this total identity crisis, but I know this. I know this over here, and I know this can bring me some money. I know that this old way, this old pattern has sustained me. It has done this for me in the past. It's not really what I want anymore, but while I'm waiting, I can just go ahead and just have this. Well, don't do it. Don't do it. It's a trick, it's a trap. As soon as you take that old thing or you implement that old program again, you're saying that that old way is what you want. And the universe said, oh, I thought you wanted this over here, but now I see you're back to wanting that again. And now it's going to take you even longer. Now you got to do it again to bring forth that other thing. And so you maybe will have that short-term solution, that quick, burst of income, or, that quick result, and it'll ease the anxiety in the moment. But if you just could distract yourself with some playtime, like going into the forest or doing other things that bring you joy, that seem kind of counterintuitive, but as long as you stay in that joy frequency and doing the things that you're passionate about and are in alignment with what you have aligned and attracted and are on their way to you, so do more of those things, and that'll speed up the results of the stuff that's on that tractor beam on its way to you. oftentimes the sitting in the void and the in-between is very uncomfortable. It's not a comfortable feeling lost. Some things that could help you in this time is meditation. You can just find your center, do a good guided meditation. There's many on YouTube, and I have a few sound healing meditations that you can check out on my channel. But also, just going deep within, checking in with yourself. Another thing you could do is have a conversation with yourself in the mirror and look yourself in the eyes. The eyes are the windows to the soul, and you check in with yourself that way. If that feels very uncomfortable for you, or people, you're concerned people are going to think that you've completely lost it, along with losing yourself, you could have a conversation with somebody else. Because other people, sometimes especially people that don't even know us, they can be a perfect mirror to reflect back to us what we're looking for. To reflect back to us some wisdom, to help us to find our North Star, to help show us that maybe we're even closer than we even thought we were. Maybe we can't see the forest through the trees, or we can't find the North Star through all of the bazillion stars that are out there. Or maybe we are already the North Star that we have become. Someone who knows us and experiences us in life can shed light on the times when they've experienced you in your joy. And that can remind you of those joyful experiences, and maybe that still resonates with you. And they can also remind you of your natural essence, which does have everything to do with what brings you joy. And that is usually what we're born with, and what we've done as children that we found to be very exciting and brought vitality and vibrance into our lives, and happiness that makes us feel the most fulfilled. And we're able to get back into that feeling and that frequency and that vibration. To be reminded that we are pure awareness, loving awareness, that we are love and we are joy. So in that reminder, we can sit in this void and trust, be in our joy, be in our natural essence of our joyfulness, our bliss, sit centered and poised, awaiting for that which we have aligned and attracted to come in. But we need to also make sure that we are not blocking those blessings. One of the ways that we block those blessings, as I discussed, is choosing the old way, panicking and reverting back to survivor mentality or lack mindset, in which case is saying to the universe that you don't trust that you called in is coming and is on its way. Another way is through resistance, and that resistance being in the form of that we expect our blessing or what we called in to look a specific way. And things are not always delivered to us in the packaging in which we expect. I don't know if you have anyone in your family, but I have somebody in my family that likes to switch packaging, really to kind of confuse my father, or my father likes a specific brand of things, and sometimes that brand is not available and they run out, And so my mom will buy a different brand and put it in the same packaging so that he has no idea that it's not the same. Whereas if he were to have received something, maybe perhaps it was his favorite thing, but she wrapped it in a different package, he might refuse it and throw it in the garbage, and now it's going to take him even longer to have this favorite thing because she now has to make time to go back to the store to get it again just because it was in the wrong package. Maybe there's some traffic along the way, and now you're going to have to sit in this void even longer. And so just trust that whatever comes to you, as long as it's not the old thing, the old way, trust that that's for you. I mean, be discerning. Feel the energy of it. If your energy lifts, then it's a truth. If it lowers, then it's not a truth. It's not for you. But sometimes things are not at all what they seem to be. And sometimes the universe will deliver to us exactly what we're looking for. We'll be on the right train, but it'll take us to a totally different train station. And on the way, we will have had this whole great adventure, this whole other journey of our life, clearing ancestral trauma and learning lessons about authenticity and meeting people where they're at on the bridge, and learning how to drop the barriers of love and to forgive, and all these big things on your way, which is all instrumental and important to your becoming, and for you to receive exactly what it is that you had put yourself in alignment. And in fact, it puts you even more in alignment for what you're attracting in. And so don't snub away something just because it's not in the package that you expect it to be. Because it could take you, like I said, on a whole fantastic journey, and the end of it, you'll find yourself in a whole different train station at a whole different point of destination along your journey, along your path, that is even greater and even more wonderful than you had even really envisioned. And this is all, due to part and parcel to all of the karma, the positive karma, and all the rewards and bonuses that you already have coming to you, because you've increased your frequency so much, and you've waited and you've been patient. And now, guess what? It's Judgment Day, and you're just now getting your refund. Here it comes, baby. It's coming rolling in because you trusted that what you were aligned with and what you're attracting in is what exactly you're getting, and then some. And so, if you have that kind of faith that that's what's coming for you, then we can get excited and we do away with the stress and the anxiety. I mean, sure, it creeps in from time to time, but you can just beat it back with a stick and say, not today, anxiety, you're not going to get me. Even though the storm rages outside, rattling your windows, rattling your doors, you have the faith and the perseverance to still stick it out, tough it out. You're in there in your hut dancing and singing and being in your joy, keeping your frequency raised no matter what beats at your door. In fact, you may even use the beating sound as a drum beat, a drum rhythm to dance to. Transmute it into something absolutely incredible and amazing. And also in the meantime, this is a time for you to look back at your life. Back from, now that you're in this void, and you've stripped away all these layers of yourself, including the one that you thought that you were becoming, because that was just another form that you were going to try to stick this limitless essence of yourself into, another box you were going to try to shove yourself into. Granted, it might have been a bigger box, but you are magnanimous, and you are incredible, and you're amazing, and you're going to be doing amazing things. You are doing amazing things. You don't fit in any box at all, and that's kind of the point here. And so you look back at where you were before all these layers stripped away, and you acknowledge all of the work that you have done to get yourself to this point. And you have a little celebration. Dance that jig, sing that song, celebrate yourself, pat yourself on the back. Look at what you've accomplished. You know, and as you heal yourself, which you have if you're increasing your frequency and you find yourself in this lost state, then you heal the collective. And so what is for your greatest good is for the greatest good of all, especially if you set out with that intention. And so as I heal myself, if you imagine it like a big grid, or a big like grid of light, where we're all sort of like connected together by these little light strings. And say there are some strings that are a little bit weaker that are within us, and we work on those, and we heal those parts of ourselves, and that ends up increasing the strength of our overall web of light. And so as we heal ourselves, we heal the collective. And so as we free ourselves more and more from the constraints of old identities, old belief systems, old ways of being that no longer serve us, that are in these little boxes that we have tried to put ourselves in, these identities, then these different suits that we have worn throughout our lives, trading it in for a better model as we progress onto being fully light and love and joy. That's the end destination, to be fully enlightened. But to be in moments of that while we're sitting in the void, to be in that meditative state where we're in that blissful period and holding that for at least 68 seconds, if not longer, 17 minutes, and half an hour, however long. The longer you hold it, the more potent it will be, and the tractor beam will be even stronger, sucking in even more magnificence and magic into your life. And the more you trust, and the more you celebrate yourself and honor yourself and love yourself. And sometimes, again, that takes, looking into the mirror, whether it's the mirror of yourself or someone else, and for them to point out to you your magnificence, to point out to you that they see the work that you've done on yourself, that they see the change in you, that they honor you, and that it's an honor to be a part of your journey. And they point out to you that your life is so exciting from their point of view, and that you are spirit. I mean, to have somebody to tell you that, such honor and gratitude and such appreciation to have that, someone to, and we all have, hopefully we have somebody who honors us in that way, or various people that we have touched their lives in some way, shape, or form, or they appreciate us for whatever reason, and we have that person we can turn to. If not, you can contact me and I will tell you how much I appreciate you watching this message and listening to this message, hopefully getting something out of it, hopefully seeing that you are magnanimous, you are amazing, and you are doing great things, wonderful things If you're even working on yourself just a tiny little bit, you're doing amazing things for the collective, especially if you have that intention. And so, yes, just a quick rundown of what we've gone over. And so, in unbecoming, to become, sometimes we try to put that becoming stage into a box and create form, and that just puts us more into that doingness. Well, in that doingness, we find ourselves caught back in that trap again of that we are not living from our state of beingness, of just simply being who we are at our core, natural selves, our light selves, our joy, our love, our pure awareness. And so we strip that away. We align with what it is that we're truly calling in our lives. We attract it in, and we allow it to come. We allow it to come in divine timing. And in that stage of waiting, sometimes we may feel lost and confused, and that is the void. And that is when things become stripping all away, including even if we have decided that we had a form that we were becoming, that also gets stripped away, because that is not our natural essence, our natural being state. We've set out that we want to be our natural being state. And so it all gets stripped away. And from there, universe sort of tests us a little bit to see if we revert back to our old ways of trying to survive, or of what is comfortable for us because of, old programs where we made decisions based out of, rather than making decisions based out of our joy and out of our love and out of those frequencies, because that is what we're calling into ourselves, is to be our joyful selves, our loving selves, our pure awareness. And so we need to keep vibrating at that frequency, and we need to trust and know without a shadow of a doubt and believe that that is what's coming in, that we have a tractor beam on it and it's on its way to us. In the meantime, it is for us to stay in that frequency and to honor ourselves, celebrate ourselves, and look at where we've come from to where we've come to while we're waiting, with the promise that when it comes, it may not always look like in the same package as what we had envisioned it. It might be in a better package. It might be not in a great package at all. It might not be in packaging, period. But as it comes, to trust, discern, to feel into it, know that that is for us, that that is what we're calling in, or at least it's going to be leading us to what it is that we're calling in, and trusting the journey, trusting that, okay, this is a side route that's taking us. Maybe it's a shortcut, but it's so very fulfilling. It's all part of the journey. It was completely unexpected. We go, we make some new connections, bringing us to new opportunities that does further us along on our path to becoming, and to toward also maintaining that alignment, maintaining that frequency, because it's helping us to clear away more and more stuff that we didn't even know that we had to clear, but the universe just knows all. And so, yeah, everything is always for our greatest good, and it's always for our grand becoming, to let loose those preconceived ideas of what it's going to look like, so that we are not resisting it. So that important part is to allow. So align, attract, allow. Make sure that while you're waiting, you celebrate, no matter how hard the storm beats on your door, no matter what's brewing outside, you remain centered, peaceful, and aligned within, and that you celebrate, stay in that joy, do that jig of celebrating yourself for your accomplishments, because again, you are magnanimous, you are amazing, and you are doing great things. You are love, you are light, you are pure awareness, and I love you all so very much. If you like this message, please do give me a thumbs up. Maybe share a comment or two if you want to hear more. I am very proud of myself that I have been very consistent with these on a every Wednesday basis. And also every Friday, I do an art share and an artist talk, whether that is in written form or spoken word. But hit that bell and subscribe if you want to be alerted as to when these things come out. I love you all so very much. I'm so eternally grateful for your support. Many blessings to you. Peace.